The 1%er Podcast with Sam Bakhtiar, bringing you the 1% knowledge to help you reach your full potential. Learn what it takes to rise above the 99% and become a 1%er.
Hey guys, welcome to the 1%er Podcast. This is Sam Bakhtiar, your host. I got Jacob Galea in the house.
How you doing, Sam?
All the way from Australia.
I am.
Well, I appreciate you being here, man. I know you're touring in Los Angeles.
I am.
And it's a pleasure and honor for you to drive all the way from Beverly Hills, which is a crazy drive.
It was.
I mean, every time I'm in Beverly Hills, man, I just stay there overnight because I don't want to deal with the freaking traffic.
Yep.
You know, so I appreciate you being here, man.
I appreciate being here. Thanks for having me.
You are a top business and mindset coach.
That's correct.
You know, but before we get into all of that you're doing right now, how did it all start for you?
You know, I think I was competing for the Australian karate team. I'm a black belt in a style called Go-Juru, and
And how old were you here?
I was 19.
You're 19.
19, yeah. And at a very young age, I was around some very amazing and powerful people who, you know, Sam, they used a force that was invisible. You know, this intuition and this.
Like Bruce Lee.
Yeah. And I was like, how do these guys do that?
Yeah.
And I met a mentor at the age of 20, around the same time, and you know, my life started to change direction, and I thought, hey, there's this inner voice and this inner feeling that is in there, and I've got to investigate this.
So you met a mentor. You said your whole life trajectory changed, right?
Yeah.
Tell me about this mentor. What did you learn? How did you meet him?
Yeah. So I met him. I'm going to call it by fate. I was looking for a second job at the time, and I found this pizzeria, and I just rang the first number that I came across in the area, and this gentleman said, "Come on in and meet me." And from that moment, we had a connection. I started working with Franco in this pizzeria, and known to me, he ended up teaching me a lot of things that flipped my script. You know, I thought my blueprint was set in my life. I was going to work in a factory, and that's how it was going to be. But no way. I don't think destiny had those cards ready for me.
Awesome, man. Awesome. So what some other aspects of how long did he mentor you for?
Well, I was with Franco for a good 4 years under his wing, and then we sort of we sort of parted ways. And I think mentors come into your life, and different mentors come into your life. They say when the student's ready, the teacher will arrive.
100%.
And he served his purpose in my life for some time, and I in his. So for 4 years, we did some amazing stuff together. But you know what, Sam? It was so simple. It wasn't anything that, you know, rocket science or brain surgery. It was the most simple, beautiful things that we talked about.
Some of the simplest things make the biggest shift, though.
Absolutely.
You know, some of the simple adjustments you do in life will make the hugest impact, you know, on that. So, so when did you first learn that you want to, you want to coach people in business, you want to coach people in a mindset?
Yeah. You know, Sam, I'll say to you that you don't call it, it calls you. You know, it wasn't something that I went through school or my childhood or even studies going, hey, you know what, I'm going to be a coach, yeah? It was not like something that I would architecturally design my avatar and say, Jacob's going to be a coach.
It chose you, yeah.
Absolutely, and when it chooses you and you're surrendered to it, man, did that magnetic power pull me towards it. And within a short period of time, you know, it's like this, we live in multiple dimensions. It's like one day I'm here and I'm in a factory, and the next day I'm sort of a coach coaching celebrities and business people in a lightning bolt of a shift. So it just happened. You can't create it. I couldn't even have designed that.
So tell me the first calling, and there must be a shift. There must be a time you remember, hey man, this is what I'm called to do. What happened?
Yeah, you know, Sam, I remember this day clearly. I was 20 years old and I was working in this factory, and I remember seeing one of the suits upstairs come down to bring some clients around to press check a job that we were doing. And the clients wanted to deal with me in overalls. I was in overalls at the time, and my supervisor at the time, the suit, pulled me aside. And I remember this clearly as if it was yesterday, and he said to me, the clients, Jacob, wanted to deal with you, and they didn't want to deal with anyone else on this machine. You've got something. I don't think you should be doing this. You've got this energy about you, this light about you that people attract. And from that moment, I went back to my mentor and started to build my vision board and said, I need to know what he meant, and I need to know what that is, and I'm going to make it my quest to do and fulfill whatever that is. And I'll never forget that day.
Got it. So on that day, you knew that this was what you were called to do this. You were taught to. So you were a black belt in karate.
Yes.
It takes a special kind of mindset. Because I know with sports and at the highest level where you were, right?
Yep.
It takes a special mindset. How do you apply that to business and to personal development?
It's a really good question because I get asked that a lot. Like, does a mindset change whether you're a bodybuilder, whether you're a martial artist or a swimmer? Does the mindset change in between your life? And what I say is no. The warrior's mindset is a lifestyle.
Yep.
Okay, so you can't switch it on and off. Once you've got it, you've got it. So what I did was, and what was successful for me, Sam, is that the techniques I was using to win in tournaments and in the dojo and fighting against other black belts, I was using in the business world. And they were the same principles. So there were things like clarity and focus and discipline and getting outside your comfort zone. So all the things that we really learnt to do there, I just applied that in the boardroom and took techniques from the battlefield to the boardroom and executed there. And then I started to win in the boardroom and go, hey, hang on a second. These same principles, Sam, more than anyone, it's the extra 5 reps that you're getting spotted on that you grow.
Yep.
Yeah, that's when you grow, those extra 5 reps. So if you apply those extra 5 reps in the business world or with your clients' world, you're going to grow as well. And that's what I started doing, is going above and beyond and just using exactly the same mental warrior techniques and emotional intelligence that I was fighting outside the dojo.
It's parallel, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Same things that apply in that field, you applied it. Because I did the same thing. I've done the same thing. Same principles that made me a champion bodybuilder. I came and applied to life, and I came and applied to business. And I think I give so much of my success to those.
Yes.
So moving forward right now, what's some of the big things you're working on?
Yeah, so for me now, I've been really blessed to work with some amazing people. I really want to, that mentor who shifted my life, and that's why I mentor now and have mentoring groups around the world. I really want to give back. I run mentoring groups globally, and what I want to do now is do for people what my mentor did for me, and I want to help them flip their script. A lot of people out there are stuck and they don't know how to get out. They don't know what tools to use. I want to hopefully be a light in their darkness and show them and help them somehow on how to get out of it like I was, because you're not taught when you're young how to use the mind. You're not taught at school how to use the mind. Then you go into the big bad world and it's cold and no one actually stops and says, hey, this is how to use the mind. This is something that you have to be taught. Yeah. So my mission now, Sam, I want to transform 5 million lives by 2040 is my goal. So I've got 20 years to do that, whether that's through the online community or through my seminars or all of the above. And I want to leave a legacy of transformation to everyone I come in contact with.
So give me an example of someone you worked with and how you helped them.
Yeah, so for example, I'll give you a live example now. I've been engaged by a CEO of a company in Australia, very successful business. It's been around for 30 years, makes amazing money. The CEO and owner of this company has become a bit stale, and he's almost 50 and he wants to take it to the next level, and he wants to take himself to the next level, but he doesn't know what that looks like because he's a bit complacent. He's been doing this for a long time. So for the last 12 weeks, we've been working together, and I've been working with him with breaking, he's got some mental beliefs and barriers around getting to the next level, what it looks like. So we have one-on-one sessions. I have phone calls with him as well in between the sessions, and I help challenge his belief system. Yeah. And then he's been implementing, and the business is growing. We're hiring new people. There's a new energy in the business, and it's got a new soul. Because if you always do what you've always done, you'll always get what you've always got.
Absolutely, which it makes sense, because even somebody at a high level, very successful, can get stale, can't they?
Absolutely.
They can just relax, and then next thing you know, they're kind of like, idling. A lot of times when people see somebody at the top, they think that, oh my God, man, they're always pushing, they're always, but at a certain point, sometimes you get to what we call that plateau.
Yes.
Right?
Absolutely.
You get to that plateau, and you need that extra push to catapult you, to the next step.
Absolutely.
You wrote a book.
I did.
You know what I mean? Can you talk about your book?
Yeah, my book's called Birth of the Super You.
Birth of the Super You.
Yep. And I wrote it about, I believe when I was on the journey of transformation, that I was navigating and accelerating from a normal version of me to a super version of me. So that version was born. It's like being born again.
Yep.
So Birth of the Super You is a book about transformation on how to become the best version of you. And it talks about things like your entourage, yeah? Who you spend time with is who you become. If you spend time with losers, you're going to become a loser, right? You spend time with champions, you're going to become a champion. So the book gives little snippets and advices at the end of the book about, things on how to transform and what do I need. I talk about meditation and connectedness. I talk about owning your brand. I talk about not worrying about what anybody thinks about you, because we live in a world now, especially with social media, Sam, where everybody's trying to copy someone else, Like, just be yourself. Like, I am me. This is my body. This is my journey. I'm not going to try and be someone else.
I love that.
Everybody's trying to cookie cut. Like, they see a bodybuilder there and they go, and I look like that, and go, but that's his shape. What shape do you want to be? Or they see a martial artist and go, they're trying to cookie cut things. The whole thing about power is that there will never be another you.
Yep.
There's only one you.
Yep.
No one's perfect, yeah? So just own who you are and take that to the max every day. So, to me, if you can do that, that's how you become a super version of you.
Yeah. No, I totally get it, man. That's one thing that I always talk about and teach people, that I'm around. I'm like, you know what, man, there's only one you, and that's your superpower.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? And when somebody used to come to me and ask me, Sam, I want to go and win, Mr. USA, and I said, oh, I can train you. I can make you the best version of you. Okay?
Yes.
I can't make your body like someone else.
Yep.
What God has given you, the genetics, the bone structure, the muscle bellies and stuff like that, I can't change that, but I can make you the best you can be.
Absolutely.
And as long as you understand that, I'm going to make you the best you can be. But if somebody comes in that's superior in shape, and somebody come in superior genetics and physique, there's nothing we can do.
Absolutely.
So that's something that I had to come in terms with myself in my bodybuilding career, because I remember, stepping on stage with Phil Heath.
Yes.
Which when he went and won 8 Mr. Olympia. And when I saw him, I'm like, there's nothing I can do. The best training, the best nutrition. The guy is just a genetic freak, and there's nothing I can do to be able to do that. So with you, as far as the transformational things like that, what are some of the top things you see people right now that are struggling with?
I think number one is fear.
Fear.
Yeah.
Love that.
Honestly, Sam, because I think the media and what people watch, the rubbish that they watch, whether it's on social media or on the news, or I think there's a lot of people living in a garden of fear, and they're scared because a good seed can't grow in bad soil.
Yeah.
So I think that a lot of people are fearful to go and step outside their world, their comfort zone, to get better and be the best they can. So I think the fear of the unknown for me is number one. I think number two, definitely by far, is the entourage of people. So a lot of people have people around them that pull them down and don't want them to be better than them. It's a disease. Jealousy is a disease. I'm seeing it more and more as I travel around the world. And you know what? It's those closest to you usually that unfortunately...
I've experienced that.
And because you've experienced that, will want to drag you down.
Yeah.
So I think, you've got to...
Have you experienced that?
Absolutely.
And what do you attribute that to? I mean, to me, it was like when I first experienced it, I was heartbroken. Yeah. I was heartbroken because I was always the kind of person that I'm happy for my people that I love the most, the people I'm closest to most. And when I saw jealousy and envy and things like that, and it broke my heart. Yeah. It broke my heart because it was just like, I wasn't expecting that from them. How did you find out? How did you deal with it? And can you give me some insight on that? Yeah, look, it is tough, okay? Because the mind can't fathom how those closest to you could do that. The brain doesn't think like that. And the other thing is, through emotional intelligence, we are humans, we feel love. Yeah. So when someone does that, we don't understand why they've done it. So look, the best you can do is to go with the flow and surrender, because
You know, there's a beautiful saying that says, those people didn't leave your life, I moved them, God.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah? So the thing is that if something happens in your life, it's happening for a reason. And if those people have moved from you, that quote, you know, that's quoted by, they say God at the end of it, saying that God's moved them out of the way so that you can go and do what you do. So, you know, it is tough. I mean, I still think about these people every day. But what do? You know, what are you going to do? You're going to sit in a room and cry, or you're going to step on stage and flex and go, let's go do what I've got to do. If you're meant to be back together with those people, you will. You've just got to trust the process. Trust is a big inner game that you've got to learn to play.
I love that, man. You said, you know, you mentioned God.
Yeah.
Okay. Are you religious?
I'm spiritual.
Got it.
Yeah.
Got it. Because I believe in God. I believe in a higher power.
Yep.
I believe that we're here. We were put on this earth for a greater purpose than just us. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And I love that whole quote that you just mentioned. What do you want your legacy to be?
You know, look, you know, Sam, I've thought about this a lot, and I work on this a lot. And I'm still too young, I think, to define my legacy. My thing is, once you define your legacy,
it's set.
It's set. Then we're limited, not limitless, right?
Yeah.
Now, I'm not about labels.
I love that.
So the thing is, Sam, if I sit here and say to you today, I want my legacy to be this, I'm now putting a limit on my growth.
Yes.
So I've got to be in dialogue. I'm really careful what I say.
I love the way you put that.
You know what I'm saying? But here's what I will say. Part of my legacy will be to be an inspirational person that enables people to look at the work I've done and say, I want to be better. And, you know, I don't want to live with limits, Sam. I want to be limitless. I've got on a plane and gone from Sydney to here, doing my USA tour. It's 24 hours away. I've left my family. I've left my clients. I'm on a bit of a sabbatical. And I want to lead by example to show them that this is what it takes. You know, to meet amazing people like you and travel. You know, I've traveled over 10,000 miles to sit here and meet you. And I couldn't wait. This is what it's about. Otherwise, how would I get to meet the great Sam? So you've got to get outside your comfort zone. Yeah. For me, legacy is a name and a word. I'm all about limitless. You know, the galaxy is
potential.
Absolutely. The cosmos is never ending. Yeah. So I don't want to just pinpoint one thing and go, that's what I'm about, because then I know that I'll be limited, not limitless.
So you travel so much for work.
Yeah.
You know, we talked off camera a little bit about, you know, you having, you know, 2 beautiful kids and you're married and all that kind of stuff. How do you keep it all balanced?
Yeah, look, for me, the answer to that is quality over quantity. I see a lot of dads in the park, they're on their Blackberries, on their phones talking, the kids are on the swing and they're not really engaged. For me, it's about quality. When I'm home, I'm engaged with those children. When I go and play with the kids, I'm with the kids. And I've had to train myself.
Yeah, that's tough.
You know, I've had to train myself where all these messages are coming in and things are happening. So for me, I think, look, quality over quantity is how you manage it, because we're not here for a long time. We have one life, and we've been blessed with people in our life. We've got to give them as much love as we can.
Yeah, I love that, man. Quality over quantity.
Absolutely.
I love that, man, because a lot of times, man, you're right. You know, I'm out there in the mall, or I'm in a playground, and I see kids running around. I saw the other day a kid's food fell down, and he was eating the food right off the floor. And the dad didn't realize because he was on his phone and he was doing something else. And I'm going like, oh my God, I hope I never do this.
Yes.
You know, you being able to be engaged, how hard is that? Because I haven't tried that. I failed many times. I'm getting better at it, you know, but it's so hard when you're like a type A personality, an entrepreneur at heart. You're always pushing the envelope. You're always just going out there trying to make more and more and more. You know, try to just do more.
Yes.
Right? And then all of a sudden, how can you shut everything off, you know, and be able to just be 100% with the kid? Or don't you ever wonder, oh my God, man, I was waiting for this email. That guy was supposed to get back to me. I'm supposed to do this.
You know, look, you know, Sam, I never bullshit in my answers.
Yeah.
You can't switch off.
Yeah.
People like us, the way we're wired, if I'm going to sit here and tell you that, I switch off and I can shut everything out, and I'd be lying to you. Look, do I meditate? I have tools that I use, but I don't, because the way my mind works and people like us work, Sam, is that we can't shut it off.
Yeah.
And I don't want to shut it off. What I want to do is learn how to manage it, learn how to be better at it, and learn how to listen to what it's trying to say, but you actually can't switch it off, because a champion's a champion 24/7. It's like visualizing what you want to look like when you're out of the gym. When you're out of the gym, you're thinking, I don't want to think about it. But if you don't do that visualization inner work, your inner world creates your outer world. So I believe if I switch it off, then I'm switching off my outer world. Yeah?
And I appreciate the honest answer. I really do appreciate the honest answer, because I'm like, man, there was time, like yesterday, we went to a little family gathering. I just left my phone here.
Yes.
I had to. You know what I mean? I'm like, I just want to be 100% engaged and all that. But it won't be like, all day. It'd be like 4 hours
Yeah.
or 3 hours, and I can come back and get with all that. Who's your customer avatar? Is it a CEOs? Is it big companies, or is it individuals, or is it both?
Yeah, it's both. I have two verticals into my business. I have a B2B vertical, so business to business vertical of, CEOs, large corporations engage me to work with their sales team to get a different mindset to get better results, and I do that around the world. And then I have a B2C vertical into my business, where I run seminars and I work business to consumer one-on-one with people, both in the public. It's open to the public, they can come. I did one just before I came to the US, 250 people in Sydney. I spoke on stage, and then half the room joined up my mentoring program. And on the 9th of November in Sydney, they get me one-on-one, and I get to do that. So I'm blessed to have built the two verticals there, because I don't think you should limit who you coach and who you work with and close doors. I think sometimes it's those, and you'll know this with what you do, Sam, that those that sign up to work with you are never usually ones that you think.
Yeah.
You can design the avatar, but God's got the architecture plan.
So true. So true.
Yeah.
That is so true, man. I mean, I see that in the gyms.
Yeah.
When somebody wants to work with me, and if you limit that, you're limiting God, I think.
Absolutely.
You're limiting, what you can do and how many people that you can reach.
Yes.
What else you have in the plans? I mean, are you doing any seminars in the U.S.? Are you planning on coming on this side of the world?
Yeah, look, it's a great question. I'm here on my USA tour at the moment. I come to the US every year. I love the US. The people here, the energy here, they love motivation.
Yeah.
They love inspiration. I love it here. I'm planning on doing a lot more work in the US. I'd love to open an office in LA and be here more often as well, so I can do a lot more with the US clientele. I already do a lot of work in Southeast Asia as well, because Australia is so close to Asia. So that's a beautiful culture. I do events in Singapore and Hong Kong, which is great. So for me, again, Sam, I don't want to answer that limited. I'm open. I go where I'm called to go.
Yeah.
I say my prayers in the morning, my gratitudes in the morning, and I honestly say, God, you take me where I'm meant to go today and who I'm meant to be, and that's how I got here. That's what I do.
I love it.
I don't want to be limited. So if I answer that with locations, again, I'm not true in my dialogue. Is that I'm limitless. I don't know where I'll end up, but I'll trust it and surrender to it, but I know it'll be beautiful.
Speaking of, you said, kind of routine, what are some of the success routines you put in place for you to become successful?
Yeah, they asked me that this morning in an interview, Sam, and I think I might have shocked a few people with my answer. One of the first routines I do in the morning is, as soon as I open my eyes, I do my gratitudes.
Yeah.
Gratitude is a new attitude.
Gratitude is a new attitude.
Yeah.
Love that.
Absolutely. There's a new consciousness out there today, and I start my day with my gratitude. So I'm thankful for, my children. I'm thankful for, health, and I'm thankful to have the opportunity to fly around the world and meet people like you and inspire your audience. And so if you start your day in gratitude, your psychology creates your physiology. Mm-hmm. So I'm starting my day in a state of thankfulness. Now, This is what happens. You attract to you who you are.
Yeah.
So if I'm already starting my day in I'm grateful, I'm going to have a day of receiving things that I'm more grateful for.
Yeah.
So I'm setting my beacon out during the day to be grateful. So for me, that's the kicker. It's like, and before I go to bed, I do my gratitudes again for the day. Thank you for meeting Sam. Thank you for enabling me, to even sit in his presence and do an interview. And for me, those gratitudes is what it's all about, because the heart that gives is the heart that gathers.
The heart that gives is the heart that gathers.
Yeah.
I love it, man, because I think that once you have gratitude, then you can't have fear.
Absolutely.
And that's what we talked about earlier. You said that's something that holds most people back is
Yes.
fear. You know, so the antidote to fear is gratitude.
Yeah, there's two platforms, yeah? There's fear or faith.
So true.
Fear or faith. So you're either operating from a platform of fear or operating from a platform of faith.
So good.
What we want to do is transition people from fear to faith. Now, faith doesn't mean that you have to be religious or spiritual. What faith means is that you have to believe in you, in your heart, in the process, and just connect with, there is a greater force out there. Whether you want to call it the universe, and I've experienced it, Sam. I remember pulling over one day. I was working for a company, and I remember pulling my car over one day in a park, and I saw the full moon, and I turned the motor off. I was like 2 streets from home, and I just looked up in the air and I said, God, I can't do this anymore with these people. They're negative. I don't want to be in their environment anymore. I just want you to show me where I need to be and what I need to do and who I need to be with. I promise you, when you show me that, I'm going to give you my all. If I don't, take it all off me. I swear to you, Sam, 2 days later, I signed 3 of my biggest clients 2 days later and stopped working for that company the next day. Those 3 clients that I signed replaced the income that I was making from that company times 3.
Wow.
That's the truth.
That's just because
I get goosebumps telling you that. That's the truth.
Just a leap of faith.
That's the truth.
Yeah.
I just surrendered, I opened up, and I trusted the process. So every time the phone rang, every time an email came in, I was looking for signs, man. I was like, okay, what is it? And I looked for them and I listened to them. And it never fails. Let me tell you, it never fails. Never.
I love that, man.
That's my truth.
So Jacob, for people who don't know much about you, it's people that they're not in Australia.
Yep.
Where can they find more about you and more about what you do?
Yeah, so you can follow my journey on Instagram, which is Jacob Galea Official, or my website, which is jacobgalea.com. Just jump online and have a look.
And I know you're working on some online courses.
Yeah, I am. Sam, it's time to really expand the brand on a digital footprint. We live in an amazing connected world, and everybody's on their phones. You see them, their cells, in the street. So it's time to be able to be in their hand anytime they need a quote or some advice, whether it's a pop-up quote or a video or just a quick little message. I want to be able to give them that at any time they need it.
Well, we can't wait for it here in the United States, man. Well, I appreciate you being on the show, Jacob.
Thank you so much for having me.
Looking forward to having you more and more and getting to know you more and all your stuff that you're coming out with.
Thanks so much, my man.
Of course.
It's been a pleasure.
Of course.
Thank you. Thanks.